I was detained for 6 hours or 5 hours plus at the Harare Central Police Station on the 31st of March. And I want to tell you my story and how JCTV Africa is going to operate from today henceforth. So the story happened like this. I was in the CBD. As you remember, I did some live broadcasts whilst inside the CBD. Before I started doing the live broadcast, I went to the police depot for Harare CBD and asked for permission, since 31st of March was kind of like a different day from other days. And after that, he said, all is well, you can go ahead, just know which places you are not supposed to interview people and other stuff. So I started doing my live from Robert Mugabe towards Commander Robert Mugabe and Ines Teres, and I turned at Nelson Mandela, went down to Rizende bus station where the university students normally board the buses, the combis, and proceeded to Leopold Takawira, did a bit of interview there, and then I went to Copacabana. When I got to Copacabana, I wanted to interview the touts or Mawindi. I went there and I started to interview one of the Windies that you're seeing in the picture. And he told me that, okay, they were struggling that day because there were few people who were coming to town. As I was about to finish the interview, there was a lady who came and tapped on my back, and she said she wanted to be interviewed. She had something that she wanted to say. And I went and stood on the pavement, and she was holding a placard, and that is what got me into trouble. So I will not divulge much on that because this is a case that is before the courts. But I wanted to tell you something that I discovered on that day, and it is going to change the way how we're going to do content here on JCTV Africa. First thing is that I discovered that Zimbabweans are very, very selfish. They don't support anything. They don't support their own. They don't support people who are risking their lives in order for them to have their lives changed. And I've got a great number of examples. First is Blessed Mhlanga. Blessed Mhlanga is languishing in prison, but to just imagine, Kuti, how many Zimbabweans are standing up to go and talk to Blessed Mhlanga, or support his family, or stand up and say, Blessed Mhlanga, we support you, we see you, you are the one who made us to know Blessed GEZA. No one is doing that. Very few are doing that, and those few, they're in the diaspora, and some of them, they don't want to be known. And you look even at Apostle T.F. Chwenga, since this government came in, he's been attacked several times, and he had to flee this country. And Hopo Chingono, one of the incarcerated journalists, he had to flee this country. Watson Flex Munyaka, he died. AC Lumumba is quiet. So that gives you a thought to say, is it worth it risking your life talking about corruption things, investigative journalism in a country like Zimbabwe? And I look at one of the top tier journalists who did the investigation of Willowgate scandal in the 1989, how he died miserably, begging for money for him to get treated of cancer, Geoff Nyarota. That makes you to think whether it is something that is worth risking, because our mentality as Zimbabweans has not yet changed. So I believe, as much as we would want to have great voices, but until I have proper protection, which I don't have in high places, until I have systems in place that can protect me from any threat on my life, I will not take the risk and go for big stories. I would rather do the stories that will ensure that me, my family, and myself are safe, just like the rest of Zimbabweans. Until we reach a time when pain is going to unite us, I'm going to tone down on what we talk about here, because I believe as much as we have this freedom of speech, there is no guarantee of freedom after speech. And that being said, a bit of more radical and more militant journalism I'm going to put it on the shelf because of the security threat, or the selfishness of ourselves as Zimbabweans. I posted on my YouTube channel that I was at Harare Central, and not even one. I even put my number. Not even one person came to my inbox to say, "How much is the lawyer?" Or "How can we help you?" Nobody did that, because Zimbabweans are selfish. Even in the diaspora, people will be calling you Murakash, but you are risking your life going into that zone just to give you news. So, as they say in journalism, there is no story that is worth dying for. So, that being said, I don't think it is worth dying for people who are unappreciative. But I think probably it stems from our history, where we have been so much intimidated. But I don't appreciate the fact that a lot of Zimbabweans do not appreciate good journalism and impartial journalism. I've been insulted, I've been called Murakashi, but that doesn't matter. But when it comes to a threat on my life, or on my security, or on the way that I'm going to be doing my job, I think it is worth noting that you have to take precautionary measures, just like any other sane person, like Opo Chimono did. He had to flee the country. Apostle Chwenga did. He had to flee the country. And yeah, so definitely that's going to be the modus operandi here. We're going to be chasing stories that are probably non-political. Here and there we'll engage people that are political, but it's not going to be a little bit more radical as before. So that's the quick update of my detainment by the police on the 31st, and my decision to change the type of content that we're going to be doing here on JCTV Africa. I hope this elaborates why you are seeing less of political stuff on this channel from that day. I'll see you on the next video, and thank you for understanding.